People who have signed NDAs that have now expired, or for whatever reason are no longer valid. What couldn't you tell us but now can? I was actually an actor in that commercial that said I wasn't. Sony got hacked over that North Korea movie because of a 5-year-old account they didn't delete or monitor from an ex-employee. Had to sign a NDA for a secure shipment that came into a building I ran security at. Shipment came in at 2 AM unmarked transit van. 2 guys had to verify their biometrics and give me the correct password. Then was required to deactivate the cameras on the floors along the travel routes they took inside the building and wipe the footage of them entering and leaving. Long play videotapes so easy to oops tape got chewed. They unpacked a set of vases and trundled off to put them in a private vault. Don't know what the fuck was in them, but I've seen less security for pallets of precious metal bullion. Thanks for the silver anonymous dude. Also, I'm glad people enjoyed my little work story. 15 years in the industry and this is one story that I'll always remember. I was a translator, contractor, for the US military. I also translated Marvel comic books. Marvel had tighter security. Mini Cooper / BMW replaced our car because the high pressure fuel pump failed 6 times within 6 months. However, the recorded reason for the replacement of the car was because of stained interior from dirty mechanic hands, so it wasn't replaced via the lemon law. In 1990, I signed an NDA at Chili's when they showed me how to make their new awesome blossom. No other restaurant in town had anything like it, and it was hugely popular at the time. I was an intern at Wells Fargo, and we were grouped with other interns across the US and given a project to work on aside from our normal intern responsibilities. My group was tasked to look at their current incentive program and the one they were moving to, and then come up with various ways they could be improved. 2 weeks before our presentation, someone way above each of our managers had us shred all our work and sign NDAs. A couple years later, the story broke about their incentive programs, where employees were opening up fraudulent accounts for customers in order to gain more incentive rewards. Kraft Macaroni and Cheese are coming out with a more modern and upscale version to expand their market from lower income folks to higher income folks. It is almost entirely the same product as the 69-cent blue box, but will have a lighter, less orangey color. They will be sold as shells and not macaroni. The box will be shaped differently, and it will go for $2.50 or more. Stated to be released by 1995. You'll never believe it, but Apple Computer is gonna open retail stores. Dell closed all of their in-person kiosk locations in order to get the money to fire the CEO they put in because no one bothered vetting his contract, allowing him to adjust his own pay rate to whatever he wanted, and could only be fired with a $40 million golden parachute bonus. So their choice was to either come up with $40 million ASAP to fire him or go completely bankrupt the very next pay period. So yeah, Dell was almost bankrupted within a single week due to a pirate CEO. I worked for a native casino. The golf courses lost a ton of money for us, as did the advertising for the courses. Food we generally broke even on because of all the comps. If a crime was committed by a dealer, they would watch the dealer for 3 months to see if there were accomplices. They used facial recognition and would pair match you, so if the same person sat with the same dealer over and over, they would know. This way they could look for accomplices. Then when they busted you, they would sit you down and make you watch a video of you breaking the law. They did this because they wanted you to plead guilty as opposed to an expensive trial. Google doesn't hire direct support employees. They open small projects in the US, hire up to 250 contract employees of varying support positions for the project. Once they get the stats needed to run everything efficiently, they have mass layoffs and outsource their jobs to a country, Philippines/India, that's willing to accept much less than their US counterpart. At the same time, Google rakes in a huge tax cut because they're "creating jobs in the local communities." Edit. Yes, this includes YouTube and YouTube content review. I signed an NDA to waitress at a local family-owned restaurant. The owner was nuts, definitely had a severe personality disorder, and was worried about his recipes getting leaked. The restaurant is dead now, and his secret recipes consisted almost solely of frozen packaged food. Edit. Guys, stop trying to guess what restaurant it is. You never will. There are millions of family owned places with crazy bosses that go under. You don't know the place, and I'm not gonna tell you. Also, Mr. Krabs pays his employees enough to own houses and pets. I wish I worked for him. Worked at a matchmaking company. It's all bullshit, it's just throwing darts at a wall until something sticks. There's no science or magic to it all. I signed an NDA once when I was an extra on Mortal Engines. If you watch the movie, you'll learn more than I did on set. Apple 100% replaced the iPhone for users because of a shitty antenna. We were instructed to dodge, deflect, and deny this was the issue. Cell phone providers were shit. The phone was a fluke. It didn't matter. Don't admit fault. But if they were there for reception, vs water damage, buttons or battery life, you had to make sure you were swapping them with the newer batch iPhone 4 swaps, rather than the typical batch swaps. It was a recall without being a recall, but only if you had reception issues. My sister worked for a high-profile bakery company. They would sell $500 wedding cakes and stuff. When she was hired, she had to sign a shit ton of legal NDA documents. They literally just used instant cake mix from the local grocery store. The cake probably cost about $10 at most to make. You could get free satellite TV without any hacking or hardware mods. Call up your Dish or DirecTV phone line. Add everything you want to get. Wait until it all appears on your account and you can watch it. Then, unplug all the hardware in your system and give them a call back, saying it wasn't you, or you changed your mind, or you only had it for visiting family, or whatever. Take it back down to the bare minimum or turn it off completely. Wait at least 24 hours, preferably a good 2 or 3 days. Then, plug your shit back in and continue to enjoy everything. This has been known to work for years for a lot of people. Satellite TV is one-way communication. So the only way they update your programming authorizations is to send a signal to your specific hardware. Sending satellite signals for single customers is expensive, so they don't keep doing it. When your system gets the update to turn on all the channels, it sticks until you make a change. All you have to do is skip that downgrade signal. There is going to be a Capri Sun sports flavor in roughly 2003. I was a taste tester for Kraft Foods when I was 10. We didn't sign an NDA, but it was supposed to be a secret. I signed an agreement at my last job that I'd never sue them over anything ever. In exchange, I was allowed to get yearly raises. After I left that job, I joined a class action suing them for making me sign that and holding raises hostage. Made quite a bit from that. My boss got drunk at a conference and tried to get in my hotel bed. She forced me to share a room with her and declared our room pants free after 9 PM. She got drunk at a baseball game and tried to switch shirts with me in front of coworkers and clients. And when I quit because of it, she left me a message saying you're just a 22-year-old little bitch, and it wasn't sexual harassment because I'm a woman. Like she forgot that lesbians existed and that she was one, not like a closeted one. A full-on had a wife lesbian. I was fine just leaving the company, but the phone call pissed me off. I was 22, but apparently not as much of a little bitch. They settled within 2 months for a full year's salary and lawyer fees. Eater, sorry if it wasn't clear, I'm a woman, which is why somehow my boss thought her actions didn't count. I hope this doesn't get buried, because after reading a lot of these, I feel like it's important. An NDA isn't enforceable if you had to sign it to keep your job. Basically, a contract has to benefit both parties. It's called consideration. Continued employment doesn't rise to that level. A raise would, but just saying sign this to keep your job wouldn't fly. So if you're ever in that situation at work, you should refuse. I mean, if the company wants you to sign an NDA, they probably won't fire you and incentivize you to run around telling everybody what they want to keep secret. You'd be in a position to negotiate, as you should. Contracts are supposed to be mutually beneficial. Also, no one can make you sign a contract. Ever. If you see something fucked up happen, and you want to tell people about it, there's nothing anyone can do to actually stop you if you don't sign an NDA, which you don't have to do.